All right, so we're back from our weekend in Colorado for the PSCA race. Last PSCA race on the mountain, I wanted to make a pass. And technically in the beginning, I was like, if it just goes down the track, that's a win. It did that. It did go down the track. Just very slow like. So got the car home and I've been pondering all these ideas as to why the car wouldn't build any boost on the two-step, why I didn't want to go down the track. Like, there was just so many things in my head I couldn't figure out. Dynoed fine, everything, and we played with the two-step and everything on the dyno. Still sounded a little weird on the dyno, but I think elevation and stuff. And we didn't have a whole lot of time to work on the tune. I think we made like 3 pulls, made some decent power on the little Chinese turbo. But anyways, brought it home. Started the car up a couple times, tried to play with the two-step settings, just could not get it past this wall. It would hit this wall at like 5,900, the two-step set at 7,200. It would hit it like just a hard wall at 5,900, and then it would just barely climb, and it would never make it over like 6,200. Couldn't figure it out. Two-step set at 7,200. With timing, everything under the sun we tried. Got a phone call or a text the other day from my buddy Jeff at Revline, and he said, hey, I got one of your fuel barrels here. So whenever I went and got the alignment done, I bought fuel from him, and I bought 3 barrels of Renegade Pro 85. I said, what? No, I only paid for 3. I knew you had 4 of them, but I only paid for 3. I grabbed 3. He said, well, I put 3 stickers on 3 barrels of fuel, and there's still one sitting here. So I thought to myself, that's weird. Maybe you just put 4 stickers on it. He said, did you look at all the barrels? I said, well, I grabbed all the ones that were stacked up. He said, well, they're all kind of mixed in there. You had to grab the ones with stickers. So I think I grabbed all the ones with stickers. I thought, nah, surely not. There's my MRE jug Pro E85. What's, oh, Pro 120 plus nitrous. And ironically, so I had 3 barrels. We put 3 pails. I put half of one in the car before we left town. I put the other half of the other one in the car when we were on the dyno. At the track, I needed to add some more, and I had a little bit more in my 5-gallon pail that I first originally opened. And there's a little bit of stuff in the bottom of it. And I said, you know what? I don't want to put that in the car. So let's open another pail. Well, I opened the Pro 120 pail and put Pro 120 in the car before we raced. I thought, there's no way this fuel is that far off. Well, it's gasoline and ethanol, so it's a big difference. So I came home today. I didn't tell Brent any of this stuff yet. So I'm just gonna come home and try it. I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna drain the fuel. I'm gonna put just straight E in it, because this was probably blended. It probably had a little bit of E in it. So I'm just gonna put Pro E in it, start it up and see what happens. So we put Pro E in it, got fired up. We'll let it get a little heat in it, and then we're gonna put it on the two-step and see if we can get past that 5,900 RPM wall and see if it'll make more than 4 pounds of boost. Well, just like that, we got her fixed. I'm a big dumb idiot. Don't mix up your fuels, otherwise your car will run weird. What up, everybody? Something's on my drink. Poor man's koozie. I got 9 million koozies, can't find any of them. Got the red car on the trailer, aka silver car. I think I just last minute decided I want to go try and make some test hits tomorrow at US 36. And I only decided this about 20 minutes ago. So I'm getting it loaded up tonight. I think Troy's gonna run out to Revline and pick up one of my E85 jugs. I don't even know if I'm gonna make full 8th mile hits, mainly because I don't mind the track and like my rear wheel drive shit. But something that sits this low, I don't know that I want to pull the chute on this track. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow, since they normally on testing 2 nights usually run 1 single lane, hopefully that'll be good, or hopefully that's what they'll be doing tomorrow, because I would rather run singles in this thing just to see kind of where we're at. And then I got to get some data for Jamie to verify like wheel speed front and rear for traction control stuff. I need to get some strain data too for the shifter. We got the one pass up in Colorado, and I don't know that we got any good data out of that, and I don't know that he used it to make any changes because it was such a shit pass. So we'll hopefully get some strain data, and I'll hopefully be able to work on the traction control stuff a little bit. But like I said, we're gonna get this all loaded up tonight, and tomorrow after work we'll try and hit the road. I get off at 4:30. Hopefully we can get up there at a decent time. The weather's supposed to be nice, and the DA should be decent. So hopefully, like I said, we can get some good 60-foot hits and some 330 stuff done. But anyways, I'm gonna get this loaded up. We'll catch y'all at the track tomorrow. All right, guys. So why does our tire look flat? It's weird. We're all loaded up. I'm actually at work right now. Just did a 2-step check on the car, and just to check a couple things. All seems to be good. One thing, so I kind of had a thought. When we were on the dyno at PFI, the car made like 30 pounds of boost. From what Jamie said was basically wastegate pressure. I honestly don't want to run 30 pounds tonight on this little local track. So I went ahead and disconnected the boost controller and just routed the compressor source line to the bottom of the gate, so we can just basically run wastegate pressure. We'll kind of see where that gets us. The car will still make 18 pounds on the 2-step, so it's obviously going to be more than that. Hopefully it's going to be somewhere in like the 20-22 pound range. I can't remember what wastegate springs in this thing. I thought it was a 14 pounder. Turns out I was wrong. But yeah, we'll just start there and see what, work up from there. And then I think there's a couple other cars coming up there tonight to test, in hopes to, I think, get ready for Ice Cream Cruise and for IFO coming up next month. And I'm gonna run and pick up Troy, grab some fuel, and then we're gonna head up to US 36. So we'll see you guys when we get there. What up, guys? Welcome back. We're out at the track. Me and Troy boy. We got the silver car out here. We're gonna make some 8th mile hit, or not even 8th mile. It's 60 foots, 330 hits. We got the old white Chevy truck coming back, and he just made his first pass. But I'm gonna run up and get this thing teched in real quick, and we'll get the ball rolling on today. We'll get back to you shortly. In the silver car down the 8th mile. We got out of it early. The car ran a 658. Ran a 658 with a 9 at 101. 60 foot's not awful, but it's not the best. It pretty much just stood up on the tire. You can see in the video, and then it bogged. We were thinking I got out of the gas, but apparently I didn't. So we made some changes, and we're gonna go up and make one more lick with the changes that we All right, so we made it back home after our outing with the red car, and let me tell you, I was a little discouraged at first, but then I had to think to myself, that was our first quote unquote full pass. I mean, it was 8th mile stuff, and we had a bunch of problems, so it necessarily wasn't a full pass, but in my eyes, that's the first time this thing's been down the track and ran down like on its own, under its own power, or under power basically, in like 7 years. I mean, went to PSCA. The car had been out a couple times years ago when I was fussing with some Honda issues. The only time it ever went out on Motec was when we went to PSCA there in 2020, and it didn't do anything because it kept having axle problems. So, and then we broke the diff. Yeah, I mean, the first few passes this thing's made in 7 or 8 years, I mean, that's a win in itself. It came up on the 2-step, it made boost, all that stuff. The first pass, like I said, the car went a 658 coasting. I looked at the log and it showed I coasted, or I got out of about 5.2 or 5.3 into the run. So, and then coasted a 650. The front half, the 60 foot of that pass was crap. And then the 2 passes after that, I ended up turning the traction control on and trying to sort through some of the traction control stuff, and it didn't like it. It didn't, or at least it appeared it didn't like it based on ET and all that stuff. Well, after going back and looking at some footage, you can see when on the first pass, when I was pulling up to the light, the gentleman that owns the track, he was kind of pulling me in because I think he realized the bumper set low, so he was like, hey, come on up, and he was setting me in the beams. And you notice as I'm rolling up, the bumper clipped the light, and it kind of appeared that it was him setting the light with his foot, but it wasn't. It was the bumper. The bumper was clipping the light. And then as he walked away and I started to roll into it, you could see the top bulbs flicker, and then you could see the bottom bulbs flicker. And then I rolled a little bit further, and then the solid pre-stage light was on. So you could tell the bumper was clipping it. And that one, it went a 160 60 foot, went like 435 through the 330. But I had no traction control. It made all the boost. Also, that's all on wastegate. It made like 30 pounds on the wastegate. That's going to be another thing. We need to figure that out because that's not right. It shouldn't make that much boost on the wastegate. But if you look at the last 2 passes, you can see that when I set the light and the car starts to move, the pre-stage lights goes out because you're rolling past them. Well, then in a brief second, you'll see them both drop again. It's because at that point, the tire catches them. So my 60 foot was shit, and everything else looked shit on both the second and the third pass. But when I went back through and loaded the data logs and overlaid the data logs, you could actually see the third pass that I made was actually faster than the first one on the front half. And then I ran into an issue where I clicked in the third gear and the car laid over. That's a whole nother can of worms. Jamie and I got to work on that. But yeah, so that pass was going to be faster. The 60 foot was going to be faster. The 330 was going to be faster. So if that pass wouldn't have been up by me setting the light with the bumper instead of the tire, we probably would have had a really good idea what this thing was going to run. I think I got a pretty good idea. With that being said, what do you guys think it's going to run on a good pass with the current setup and the current boost it's on? Like I said, it's 30 pounds of boost. That's what it makes on the gate. That's what we dynoed it at up at PFI, and it made 800 wheel. I think that was probably going to be like maybe a mid 1.5, like a 155 60 foot or something, had I not tripped it with the bumper instead of the tire. And with that being said, that probably would have been like a, high 4.1, maybe a 4.2 60 foot or a 330. So who knows? Also, on all those passes, you can see and hear when I let go of the clutch, it kind of stands up on the tire and then bogs. And there's an issue with fueling there we got to sort out, and that's something we'll work on in the next upcoming video. We'll try and sort out the fueling issues we got and whatnot. But I think this thing's gonna run pretty good. Hopefully. We were supposed to go to ice cream cruise. I don't know if we're gonna make it with the car, mainly because I had the issue with fueling in third gear on that last pass. I really want to find out what that is, so I need to test the car again. So I got a couple of things I'm going to do before we test the car again, and I'm hoping to test it a week from today. And it's right before ice cream cruise, so I just don't want to press myself and you know, put myself in a spot where I'm rushing. So we may skip that with the car. I don't know. We'll see when the time comes. But yeah, man, what an awesome deal. I don't know what else to say. We got the car out. The car's making passes. We need to do some maintenance and stuff on it, check some stuff out, and then hopefully we'll get this thing, like I said, back out in a week and try and make some more test passes. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep following along. We'll see you guys on the next one.